Chapter 4. The Resonance. The standoff at the edge of the abyss lasted only a fraction of a second, but to Kaelen, the world seemed to freeze. Looking down from the jagged rim of the crater was a discordant. It had once been a great canopy bear, a majestic and terrifying apex predator of the upper branches. But the silent decay of the forest had warped it into a nightmare.
A hollow beast. The rot has consumed it completely.
Its thick fur was patchy and gray, falling out in clumps to reveal tight, leathery skin. Its eyes were milky white and completely blind, weeping a thick black fluid. But the most horrifying mutation was its skeleton. Massive, jagged pieces of petrified black wood had grown outward from its spine, jutting through its skin to form a grotesque armor of razor-sharp stone.
Rararg.
The beast let out a deafening, wet shriek. The sheer volume of the sound hitting the dead, silent air was physically painful. It was not a natural roar. It sounded like tearing metal mixed with the agonizing scream of a dying animal. The creature was completely blind, but its massive, mutated ears twitched violently. It did not need to see Kaelen. It could feel his heartbeat vibrating through the ash.
It is fast and it is starving. I cannot fight a beast of that size in close quarters, especially not at the bottom of a pit. I need to break its senses.
The discordant did not hesitate. It threw its massive weight forward, tumbling recklessly down the steep slope of the sinkhole. It did not care about the jagged roots or the sheer drop. It was driven only by a frantic, mindless rage. It crashed heavily into the deep ash just 20 paces from the stone altar, sending a massive gray cloud into the air.
Grah!
The beast locked onto Kaelen's position instantly, its heavy claws digging into the stone floor beneath the ash. It coiled its massive muscles, preparing to lunge across the distance, and crush the silencer against the ancient altar. Kaelen did not draw his bow. He did not retreat. He planted his boots firmly in the dust, shifting his weight.
You hunt by vibration. Let us see how much vibration you can swallow.
In his left hand, Kaelen gripped the heavy, vibrating tuning fork. With his right hand, he drew his iron hunting knife in a flash of dark metal. He did not aim for the beast. Instead, he brought his hands together, swinging the heavy dark metal of the relic and striking it violently against the flat, broad side of his iron blade. The impact did not produce a metallic clang. It produced a shockwave. A massive, deafening bass note erupted from the tuning fork. It was a frequency so deep and powerful that it visibly warped the air, sending a violent ripple of pure kinetic energy outward in a perfect circle. The shockwave slammed into the sea of ash, blowing the gray dust away from the altar in a blinding hurricane.
Skriek.
The discordant beast took the brunt of the frequency head-on. The pure, overwhelming resonance slammed into its hypersensitive ears. The creature shrieked in absolute agony, its massive body seizing up mid-lunge. It collapsed into the dirt, thrashing wildly and clutching its warped skull with its massive claws, completely incapacitated by the sheer volume of the magic. But the beast was not the only thing affected. Where the invisible shockwave washed over the petrified roots jutting from the walls of the crater, the black obsidian began to violently crack. The sound of shattering stone echoed over the deep bass hum of the tuning fork. Through the deep fissures in the dead rock, vibrant green moss burst forth instantly. Thick, living bark aggressively pushed the petrified stone away, and the sweet, sharp scent of pine sap flooded the dead air.
The stone. It is shattering. The wood is breathing again. Cures the rot. Cures the silence.
For a fleeting moment, Kaelen was surrounded by the lush, living canopy of the old world. But the discordant was already beginning to recover, its agonized shrieks turning back into furious, wet growls as the ringing in the air began to fade. Kaelen knew the magic was temporary.
I have my opening. Move.
Leaving the beast thrashing blindly at the base of the altar, Kaelen sprinted toward the opposite wall of the crater. He leaped, digging his boots into the freshly bloomed moss and living roots, pulling himself rapidly up the steep incline and disappearing back into the heavy gray fog.